Chapter 6. Wife. But the captain said it was good for the boy. The boy wanted to work for the captain. He wanted to be a sailor. The captain said it was good for the boy. What was good for the boy? Well, if we remember from the last chapter, the captain wanted to train the boy as a sailor. And Robinson Crusoe didn't think it was a good idea. Robinson Crusoe thought that the boy needed his freedom. But the captain said it was good for the boy. Who said it was good for the boy? The captain. But the captain said it was good for the boy. What was good for the boy? To train him to be a sailor. The captain said it was good for the boy. The boy wanted to work for the captain. Who wanted to work for the captain? The boy. The boy wanted to work for the captain. And who did the boy want to work for? The captain. The boy wanted to work for the captain. He wanted to be a sailor. Did he want to be a builder? No, he didn't want to be a builder. He wanted to be a sailor. Finally, I agreed. What did I do in the end? What did Robinson Crusoe do in the end? He agreed. Finally, he agreed. The ship was on the way to Brazil. Where was the ship going to? Brazil. The ship was on the way to Brazil. And what was on the way to Brazil? The ship, of course. The ship was on the way to Brazil. We arrived there after 22 days. How long did it take for the ship to arrive in Brazil? 22 days. We arrived there after 22 days. What happened after 22 days? We arrived there. We arrived there after 22 days. I said goodbye to the boy and the sailors. Who did Robinson Crusoe say goodbye to? The boy and the sailors. I said goodbye to the boy and the sailors. Brazil was a new state in South America. Many people started a new life there. It was the same for me. What was a new state in South America? Brazil. Brazil was a new state in South America. What's a state? It's like a country. Brazil was a new country in South America. That would also work. Brazil was a new state in South America. Many people started a new life there. Who started a new life there? Many people. Many people started a new life there. And what did many people start there? A new life. Many people started a new life there in Brazil, the new state in South America. It was the same for me. What was the same for him? Starting a new life. Robinson Crusoe was also starting a new life. I didn't know anyone there. Did Robinson Crusoe know anyone there? No, he didn't. It's written, I didn't know anyone there. I didn't know anyone in Brazil, this new state in South America, where many people started a new life. Soon I met people who had sugar plantations. What's a plantation? It's like an orchard, like a garden, where there are a lot of things that have been planted, thus plantations. We pronounce it plantations. Soon I met people who had sugar plantations. What did these people have that he met? Sugar plantations. They had gardens, I suppose, plantations of sugar. What kind of sugar? What plants can produce sugar? Maybe it's cane, sugar cane. Or maybe they are beets, sugar beets. I don't know. But soon I met people who had sugar plantations. They became my friends. These people that Robinson Crusoe met What did they become to him? His friends. They became his friends. It is written, they became my friends. I liked Brazil very much, and soon I learnt the language. Did Robinson Crusoe not like his new country? No, he did like his new country. He liked Brazil very much, and soon he learnt the language. What language did he learn? The language of Brazil. I assume at that time it was Portuguese, like it is now. I liked Brazil very much, and soon I learnt the language. I had some money from the captain, and I bought a small land in Brazil. That's a bit strange, a small land. I don't think we can use the article a here. We simply say, I bought some land, or a small parcel of land, a small piece of land, a small plot of land. I had some money from the captain, and I bought a small plot of land in Brazil. From where did Robinson Crusoe get his money to buy the land? From the captain. I had some money from the captain, and I bought a small plot of land in Brazil. I started to produce sugar. I didn't produce much for the first 2 years, but then my plantation was growing fast. I started to produce sugar. What did Robinson Crusoe do with his piece of land that he bought in Brazil? He produced sugar. He also had a sugar plantation. It is written, I started to produce sugar. I didn't produce much for the first 2 years, but then my plantation was growing fast. Did Robinson Crusoe produce much sugar? No, not for the first 2 years. I didn't produce much for the first 2 years, but then my plantation was growing fast. I suppose they mean after 2 years, after the first 2 years, his plantation began to grow quickly, that is, began to produce a lot of sugar, perhaps. We don't know how exactly was it growing. In what way did his plantation grow fast? Did the plants grow fast but still not produce any sugar? Or did his business, the plantation business, grow fast and so he did produce a lot of sugar? We don't know. I was single, but my life was good. Did Robinson Crusoe have a wife? No, he didn't. He was single, but his life was good. I was single, but my life was good. I was independent, and my financial situation improved every month. Was Robinson Crusoe dependent on others? No, he was independent. He could look after himself. He could take care of himself. I was independent, and my financial situation improved every month. So Robinson Crusoe was making money every month. His plantation was growing, and every month he made more and more money. He was independent, and his financial situation improved every month. We paid only small taxes in Brazil. Were the taxes high in Brazil? No, they were low. We paid only small taxes in Brazil. The society was new, and we didn't have many rules from the government. Was it an established society? No, it was not an established society. It was a new society. The society was new, and we didn't have many rules from the government. Did the government have a lot of laws? Did the government there enforce a lot of laws? No, they didn't have many laws. Here it is written, they didn't have many rules. But rules from the government we understand to be laws. So the society was new, and we didn't have many rules from the government. Soon I had enough money to be able to hire a lady for cleaning my house. Who did Robinson Crusoe hire to clean his house? A lady. Soon he had enough money to be able to hire a lady for cleaning his house. Well, earlier he said he was independent, but now it seems he needs a lady to clean his house. I wonder, how independent was he? Was he very independent? Or maybe not. Maybe his house was a mess. We know he was a young man, and maybe he didn't keep his house very tidy. Soon I had enough money to be able to hire a lady for cleaning my house. I asked my friends if they knew about any good women. Who did he ask if they knew about any good women? His friends. He asked his friends if they knew about any good women. What kind of woman was Robinson Crusoe after to clean his house? What kind of woman did he seek to clean his house? A good woman. I asked my friends if they knew about any good women. One of my friends said, I have a daughter who is 18 years old. I think she could work for you. She is also a very good cook. Who had a daughter that is 18 years old? One of his friends, because one of his friends said, I have a daughter who is 18 years old. I think she could work for you. She is also a very good cook. This daughter of one of his friends, how old was she? She was 18 years old. His friend says, I have a daughter who is 18 years old. And could she cook very well, or is she not a very good cook? Well, his friend thinks that his daughter was a very good cook. He says, she is also a very good cook. I think she could work for you. She is also a very good cook. The next day, his daughter came to my house. She was friendly, but a little shy. She was also a very pretty girl. The next day, his daughter came to my house. When did his daughter come to his house? That is, when did his friend's daughter come to Robinson Crusoe's house? The next day. The next day, his daughter came to my house. She was friendly, but a little shy. Was she hostile? No, she wasn't hostile. She was friendly. She was friendly, but a little shy. She was also a very pretty girl. Was she homely in appearance? No, she wasn't homely. She was a very pretty girl. We talked about what I needed from her. What did they talk about? What I needed from her. What Robinson Crusoe needed from her. We talked about what I needed from her. The next day, she came to my house. Well, we know this. We know this. We know that the next day she came to his house. She cleaned the dirty floor and my furniture. She took out the rubbish. What did she clean on that next day that she came to his house? She cleaned the dirty floor and his furniture. Was the floor already clean? No, the floor wasn't clean. The floor was dirty. And she cleaned the dirty floor and his furniture. And she took out the rubbish. Next day, she came to my house every morning on Monday and on Thursday, and she was working for 4 hours. On what days did she come to his house? On Monday and on Thursday. She came to my house every morning on Monday and on Thursday, and she was working for 4 hours. How many hours did she work for? For 4 hours. She was working for 4 hours. Did she come in the evenings, or did she come in the mornings, or at midday? In the mornings. She came to my house every morning on Monday and on Thursday, and she was working for 4 hours. She cleaned the house, and she also cooked for me. Did she cook for him? Yes, she did. She cooked for him. She cleaned the house, and she also cooked for me, it is written. She gave food to my cat too, who soon started to be a little fat. She cooked for Robinson Crusoe, and who else did she give food to? to his cat. She gave food to my cat too, who soon started to be a little fat. And what happened to the cat when she gave him food, presumably on every Monday and Thursday morning? The cat started to get a little fat. She gave food to my cat too, who soon started to be a little fat. I was always happy to see the girl. Sometimes we had breakfast or lunch together and we talked. What did they do when they had breakfast or lunch together? They talked. Sometimes we had breakfast or lunch together and we talked. Then she was sick for a week. She couldn't come to my house. What happened to the girl for 1 week? She got sick. Then she was sick for a week and she couldn't come to my house. I felt a strange feeling when she wasn't in my house. I really missed her. I thought, maybe I am in love with her. What did Robinson Crusoe feel when she wasn't in the house? A strange feeling. I felt a strange feeling when she wasn't in my house. I really missed her. I thought, maybe I am in love with her. What did Robinson Crusoe think was the cause of his feelings about the girl? He thought, maybe I am in love with her. 1 week later, she came to my house. I was really happy to see her. I could see she was happy too. I hugged her. Then I kissed her. It was a long kiss. 1 week later, she came to my house. After she was sick, how long did it take for her to return to his house? 1 week. 1 week later, she came to my house. I was really happy to see her. I could see she was happy too. Did they miss each other? Yes, it seems they missed each other because he was really happy to see her and he could see that she was happy too. They were both happy to see each other. It is written, I was really happy to see her. I could see she was happy too. I hugged her, then I kissed her. It was a long kiss. What did Robinson Crusoe do when 1 week later he saw her again? He hugged her and he kissed her. I hugged her and then I kissed her. It was a long kiss. 2 weeks later, I went to her father's house. I asked him if I could marry his daughter. How long did it take for Robinson Crusoe to decide that this girl should be his wife? 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks later, and then he went to her father's house, and he asked him if he could marry his daughter. Who did Robinson Crusoe want to marry? His daughter, not his own daughter, his maid's father's daughter. That's the same person. Whew, silly me. What did Robinson Crusoe ask the father of the girl? What did he ask him? He asked him if he could marry his daughter. 2 weeks later, I went to her father's house. I asked him if I could marry his daughter. He was quiet. I was waiting for his reaction. And then he said, I agree. What was the girl's father's response to Robinson Crusoe's question of whether he could marry his daughter? At first, he was quiet. Initially, he was quiet. And Robinson Crusoe was waiting for his reaction. He was waiting to see what he would say. He was waiting to see how he would respond. Finally, the father said, I agree. He agreed to let Robinson Crusoe marry his daughter. 2 weeks later, I went to her father's house. I asked him if I could marry his daughter. He was quiet. I was waiting for his reaction. And then he said, I agree. I was the happiest man in the world. 2 months later, I married the daughter of my friend. Was Robinson Crusoe pleased with the response? Yes, he was pleased with the response. It is written, I was the happiest man in the world. He was so happy that his friend had agreed to let him marry his daughter. He was the happiest man in the world, and 2 months later he married the daughter of his friend. How long after the girl's father had agreed to their marriage did the marriage take place? How long after? How long after his father said yes did they get married? Just 2 months. 2 months later, I married the daughter of my friend, it is written. We started to plan a family. This period of my life was great. What did they start to do after their marriage? Plan a family. They started to plan a family. This period of my life was great. He enjoyed this period of his life, this term of his life. We had great plans for our family and our plantation. What kind of plans did they have for their family and their plantation? Big plans. Or maybe I said great plans. Big plans, great plans, huge plans. Plans. We had big plans for our family and our plantation. We needed a bigger house, and we needed more money to be able to build a bigger house. What did they need for their future family, for their family that they had planned? What did they need? They needed a bigger house. They needed a bigger house, and they needed more money to be able to build a bigger house. I thought about the business in Africa. I knew I could make a lot of money in Africa quickly. What was Robinson Crusoe's plan to make enough money to build a bigger house? Well, it looks like it involves business in Africa, because he thought about the business in Africa. We don't know what kind of business, but he knew he could make a lot of money in Africa quickly. He could quickly make a lot of money in order to build this bigger house that they needed for their family and plantation that they were planning. I spoke about Africa with my friends, who started to be interested in this idea. Who did he speak with about his plan to do business in Africa? With his friends. I spoke about Africa with my friends, who started to be interested in this idea. And what were his friends' response to his idea about doing business in Africa? They were interested. I spoke about Africa with my friends, who started to be interested in this idea. And that is chapter 6.